What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is episode 170 of Stats Over Politics. You are joined by Kevin Dent, stepping into the producer role, doing the best that I can for Shaun. And then we got Mr. Jaevon Toddy in the cuts. Mr. Jaevon Toddy, how are we doing today?
Doing all right. Another week. Great weekend of football. Victory Tuesday, some might say. But not for everybody on this podcast. No, I'm not going to say any names, although it's just two of us. But yeah, Victory Tuesday. Feeling good. Feeling great. Quarterback didn't play well, but I'm pretty sure we'll get into it. So 8-4. As Sal says on Instagram, he says I'm hurting.
Yeah, I'm hurting too, man. It was a rough game. There are ways to cope with this. There are ways to make me feel better. And what I've been telling everybody, because as you know, Sal, being an Eagles fan, when you lose, everybody and their mama is a fan of the opposing team. I got group chats booming. I got people I ain't talked to in months calling my phone. So it's a lot going on as a Philadelphia fan, but you know, we can't really complain. Top of your division, one game out of the number one seed. So all we have to do is win as many games as the Rams, and we'll have the tiebreaker. So feeling good. You know, our defense can't hold them up forever, but we'll get into that later in the episode. Let's get into some more of these comments. We got Mr. Grey Wolf. Good evening, gentlemen. What's going on, man? We appreciate you coming in every episode. So now, I guess it's time to talk about it, Toddy. The Dallas Cowgirls. Let me get my hatred out the way. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21. Come back from 21-0. Toddy, what were your thoughts on the game?
All right. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. A.J. Brown. Catching passes. He's doing first down signal. He's out there mossing dudes. He's just out there having the time of his life. Telling people to drop him in his fantasy. You know, everything was copacetic. I turned on the Eagles game. I was like, oh, Eagles in the red zone again. Oh, Eagles score a touchdown. Oh, Dallas turns the ball over. Oh, Eagles in the red zone again. Touchdown. I'm like, well, there's no reason to watch this game. What am I doing? It's 21-0. First quarter, right? Am I tripping? Was it 21-0?
First drive.
It was 21-0 in the first quarter. I said, they got Jalen Carter back. They got Jalen Phillips, because a lot of people kind of turn a blind. They forget the first game of the season. Jalen Carter didn't play a snap. Spat on Dak Prescott. And all was kind of lost. And that game kind of went left after the stoppage that happened due to a weather delay. And so it got kind of weird, and Dallas lost a little bit of their momentum. And Eagles ended up winning that game. So that game kind of gets swept under the rug a little bit. A lot of people don't remember it because it was the first game of the year. People were, a lot of Dallas fans, whoa, this, that, and the third. They had a lot of injuries on defense. Overshown ended up coming back, who's a really, really good linebacker for them.
They also had guys that weren't there. Logan Wilson, Williams. So they added a lot of additions.
Yeah, so things kind of started to heat up. CeeDee Lamb was dropping a couple of passes, but there's this guy, I don't know if you heard, George Pickens. He's pretty good at football. I think this is like his fifth game of the year with over 100 yards and a touchdown. Jerry, let's get out that pocketbook. Blank check season? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know about blank check, but it's Jerry we're talking
Pickens
about.
Is making himself a lot of money. And I think Steelers fans are kind of just looking at it like, did we have to get rid of him? Imagine him, DK, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it makes sense. And then Dallas just started to they continue to get stops and score. The Eagles did help out with a couple of turnovers. Saquon, I think the most important turnover, a lot of people are going to go talk about the fumble on the punt return. It didn't lead to points, but I do feel like when Saquon fumbled inside of the red zone, that was taking points off of the board, because win, lose, or draw, the Eagles could have put up at least another 7 points or at least another 3 points on the board. And
before you get going, it was definitely not in red zone.
It wasn't in the red zone. I'm sorry, my bad.
It wasn't even past half field. It was a punt.
This is why you're an Eagles fan and I'm a Niners fan. I appreciate that. And I know there's some Cowboy fans that are going to say that I don't know ball and I don't know what I'm talking about.
Got to get people what they want.
But I think it kind of the Eagles lead. I saw a stat. The Eagles lead the league. Like they're one of the top people in the league of 3-and-outs. And I'm like, wait.
The top. 32 of 32. We are 1 of 32. We are the very, very top of that list.
Yeah. AJ Brown, Saquon Brown. That team? Jalen Hurts, $53 million. Him. AJ Brown, $30 million. Devontae Smith, $25 million. These guys lead the league in 3-and-outs. Usually those teams are set up for like the Titans, the Raiders. I mean, just the shit teams in the league. Not one of the best teams in the top of the NFC. And so I mean the Cowboys, they took advantage of it. Dak Prescott, he was balling. He's not scared of the Eagles. He's pretty good. His numbers are pretty good against the Eagles all time. And I think just being in Jerry's world, the atmosphere, Cowboys fans, they always feel like they're going to win the Super Bowl. So they had a little bit of extraness. This Cowboys, Eagles, and I get they're a 500 team technically by the numbers, although they do have a tie. But the Cowboys are a team that you can kind of look at and say, hey, this could be a dangerous team. And they got the Chiefs on Thursday night, so they could swing their season in less than a week and just be in that playoff hunt. So hats off to Dak Prescott. Hats off to George Pickens. Played a hell of a game. The Eagles need to figure out why they can't run the ball. I think they're averaging less than 2 yards a carry in this game. So, I mean, Saquon, 2,000-yard season. Yes, we understand it. He had this. He was the best running back in the league. All of that getting put into perspective. Hey, we can't rush the ball. Now, there are some Eagle fans that are going to say, Lane Johnson's hurt. He's not playing. And he's a big I understand. Hey, but even when Lane was in and playing, he was healthy. Still couldn't run the ball. So, I don't know if we need a new OC. That could be a reason why. Eagle fans, Kevin and Kaz on the show have said, hey, we got to start figuring out why our play calling is not what it once was. So, you can't be one of the best teams in the league and be the top team in the league in 3-and-outs.
Says who?
I think it's going to catch up to you. Life comes at you fast. We said that a lot on this podcast. So, I mean, we can keep doing, we could keep singing the same old song and dance, but I think everybody in that locker room thinks that you guys can't continue to play like this, because if you do, I'm not saying that you're not going to be in the playoff hunt, but we could see a similar slide that we saw 2 years ago. Start off 11-1 and then lost the last 6 games.
7 plus playoffs.
So, I mean, I am not the one here to say that history does repeat itself, but are we on a similar path? I'm not ready to go that far yet, but I do think the offensive play calling does need to change, and they just got to be better. I mean, you scored 21 points in the first quarter. You should have been on pace to score 70.
That was good.
And then all of a sudden, you lose. The Cowboys score 24 unanswered points, and you lose the game in regulation. So, an insane game. I'm very curious to hear Kevin's take on this. I'm just an innocent bystander. I had no dog in this fight. I'm just watching from afar. Everyone wants to get on Kevin and just, we understand. Kevin likes to come on here. He like anybody would. Any fan of their team wants to come out and talk how good their team is. But Kevin just feels like for some weird reason, everybody from all angles is coming down, beating on him. Kevin, what? I do want to say, this is Mama T. She did text me and say to tell Kevin. Let me read the text message. Tell Kevin.
Those of you that don't know, Mama T is Patty's mom.
Philly is softer than mashed potatoes. Just want to say that my mom texted me that. Wanted to let Kevin know. So I'm just saying everyone's coming to beat up on Kevin. And at the end of the day, they're still an 8-3 team. So they're second in the NFC. So I mean, hey, it's not all bad. It could be worse, but let's try and
I'm
put
happy
in
Mama T said that.
what the Cowboys
because
are.
If we're soft as mashed potatoes, what does that make the NFC? Toddy, are the Dallas Cowboys contenders in your eyes?
I don't know what they are. They're a
no.
feisty
I
team.
just want a yes or no. Yes or no. Are the Cowboys contenders in your eyes?
No.
Okay. The Rams?
I'm sure the Rams are.
The Bucks?
Not right now.
The Lions?
Maybe.
The Packers?
Yeah.
You want to know what a lot of teams have in common? They lost to the Eagles. So, if we're soft as mashed potatoes, what does that say about the rest of the teams that we?
You guys played you haven't played the Rams this year.
Yeah, we did. Belt to ass. We own them. Yes, this year we own them. The last 4 times they've lined up, L. Packers last 4 times. Lined up,
wasn't that Sunday night?
Hey, brother, all we do is beat contending teams. So am I looking at this Cowboys game as oh no, the world is falling, what are we gonna do? No. Because like you said, the Cowboys are a contender? No. So this game goes right next to the Giants game. They were better than us that day. I'm willing to bet, Toddy, that you are very confident that Cooper DeJean's never gonna play that bad again. He's an all-pro.
Mitchell.
He's an all-pro. I mean, what did CD do? So, I mean, I guess that means he did his job, no? I mean, hey. CD did nothing, and that's who Quignon was guarding. George Pickens was supposed to be guarded by Coop, and Coop just had a bad game. There's a lot of plays in there that could have gone either which way. I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs because,
some would
like
say
you said,
that CD just dropped balls.
Hey, he catches against everybody else. So I guess some could say he doesn't. I remember in the preseason he said he doesn't go on Guantanamo Bay, but hey, every time he plays them, people are now screaming George Pickens is the best receiver on that team. So a lot of plays come down to it. Offensively, for us to go out there on 3 drives, score, you would think we were on pace to have a huge night. I told people this game. I knew a game like this was going to come. The defense was going to have a bad game at some point. They have been carrying us week in after week after week after week. And if we cannot have their back, games like this happen. First 3 drives, touchdowns. Next 9, punt, fumble. We have to clean it up. If we want to get to where we want to get, we have to clean it up. So moral of the story is offensively, we finally got to see some of that growth, but we're never going to win a game when Saquon runs the ball 10 times. Never. There's not going to be a game. Every game we've lost, he's touched the ball under 13 times. Why do we pay him all this money? He's on the cover of Madden for a reason. He's one of 8 rushers to run for 8,000 yards. But hey, 10 carries it is. So it's going to be a lot to take in. We got a quick game to bounce back against Toddy's Bears, so I'm interested to see how that game is going to go.
Where's that game at, Kel?
It don't matter.
Isn't that game that's on Friday, right? You
Friday at noon.
Friday Night Lights, baby.
Yes, but Toddy, I have to go let the missus in through the garage, so I'm going to throw a couple comments on here that I want you to answer. Gray Wolf, talking about the playoff picture. Is this playoff picture something that you think is going to be able to stand long term? We have the Rams at 1, Eagles at 2, your Bears at 3, Bucks 4, Hawks 5, Packers 6, Niners 7, with teams like you mentioned on the bubble, like the Lions, the Panthers, and the Cowboys. So what are your thoughts on the current playoff picture?
I think right now I think we're at the home stretch for sure. I think obviously the Rams, I think they've been playing the best ball, in my opinion. The Eagles obviously have had some skids against divisional opponents. A team you want to watch, that whole NFC West, man. I think we're going to get 3 teams out. Seattle, the Rams obviously leading the division, and they'll probably get the 1 seed. And the 49ers, who are coming off a win against the Panthers on Monday Night Football. I think it's the best division in football. I think that division is going to determine a lot of what the NFC picture looks like. You're looking at the NFC South. The Bucks have been sliding. The the Panthers are way too inconsistent. They're usually weirdly a better road team than playing at home. They're currently at 6-6, and the Bucs have just been on a skid. Just guys are dropping like flies. You saw Baker Mayfield in the sling at the end of the Sunday Night Football game against the Rams. And then you have Chicago in the NFC North, another division that you see a bunch of teams in. And right on the outside looking in is the Lions at 6-5, who are coming off a hell of a victory because of Jahmyr Gibbs solely by himself, almost at 300 all-purpose yards. They're another team that you're looking at that can maybe sort of sneak in. So I think these last 6 games of the season, it's going to really come down to a lot of these games, these like 5-6 games of the year. A lot of these games are going to be playoff environment type of games because every game matters at this point. Chicago being one of those teams, yeah, they're 8-3, but a lot of people looking at Chicago's schedule, you got the Eagles coming up, the 49ers are on their schedule, and you have, I think, the Packers twice on that schedule as well. So that NFC North playoff picture could be different by the time the 6-game stretch is over, just based off the fact that a lot of those teams are going to end up playing each other, Chicago being one of them, and Detroit still has to play Chicago too as well. I think the Eagles and the Rams are your like lock teams so far. Obviously, I think the Niners are going to get in because I think our schedule favors. You got who's on that? Pull it up real quick. I know the Browns. Obviously, we got Shador coming. We're going to Cleveland. I think I've seen the Titans on that list. I have to play Seattle. The Colts coming up. So I think a lot of these games for these teams in the NFC, just based off of the fact that every game is going to matter. So a lot of these games down the stretch are going to feel like playoff atmosphere type of games because you could lose a game and then another team wins. You can move down a spot, and then if you slide down by losing another game again, teams could be climbing and teams could be falling at the same time. So a lot of these games coming down the stretch are going to mean a lot, and they will be potentially playoff seeding type games.
Definitely. So moving on to the next game. Thank you for holding it down, Toddy. The Chiefs come back and beat the Colts. Kevin and Toddy were in the group chat saying, Colts money line, Colts money line. They got this. And through 3 quarters, they had it. They were up multiple scores, but the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do. They come back fashion. Daniel Jones didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have the MVP Daniel Jones that we've seen all year, and neither did not Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor having his season low 58 rushing yards, 16 carries. Daniel Jones 181 yards, 19 of 31 with 2 touchdowns. The first 2-3 drives, he was on fire, and then this Spags defense that is known for making quarterbacks get a little shaky in that pocket. That's what they did. They were able to come back and figure this out. This offense for the Chiefs is really humming. We talk about this run game every week, but Kareem Hunt said, watch this. 30 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt turning back the clock, looking like Cleveland Kareem Hunt. Patrick Mahomes doing it again. 29-46, 352 yards with 1 touchdown. Wasn't able to get to the end zone, but Rashee Rice, we talked about how this offense was going to expand once they got him. For him to go for 141 receptions, 12 targets for 8 catches. Excuse me. Just going to show how important he is to this team when you still got guys like Xavier Worthy. You still got guys like Hollywood Brown. You still got guys like Travis Kelce. But the number one guy in that room is Xavier Worthy. Sauce Gardner, Travarius Ward, first game together, Kenny Moore. They're still trying to figure things out in that secondary. Once they get DeForest Buckner back, I think this Colts team is still going to be one of the best teams in the AFC. They have a great head start, I should say. Still the number 1 seed in the AFC, so they still have a lot of good things going for them. But the Chiefs are fighting for their lives right now. I never would have thought there would be a pocket we would talk about, are the Chiefs going to make the playoffs? So the Chiefs have a lot of good things coming, and it's going to be interesting. Like Toddy said, they got a quick turnaround. They play the Cowboys on Thursday in Jerry's World. So it's going to be interesting to see who's eating that turkey leg after the game. Toddy, what were your thoughts on the Chiefs coming back to beat the Colts 23-20?
I thought it was a tale of two halves. The Colts kind of came out and had a turnover and were just they were kind of gifted with really good field position early on. And I think that the Chiefs were a little bit kerfuffled, bamboozled a little bit, stunned a little bit early on. And I think they played a hell of a game plan by kind of putting Jonathan Taylor in a box and saying, hey, Daniel Jones, you're this MVP caliber player. Let's see if you can truly beat us with your arm. And I think when it came down to it, the Colts weren't really to deliver and put up touchdowns, and kind of leaving Kansas City just hanging around a little bit. And that's one thing with Patrick Mahomes you never want to do is leave them hanging around, hoping, giving them false hope that there's still a chance for them to come back and win this game. And they were up 20-9 in the third quarter. And the Chiefs figured out a way to come back and win this game. Kevin already mentioned Kareem Hunt rushing for over 100 yards and a touchdown, was a huge part of this offense. And I want to give I think the game ball should be given to Steve Spagnuolo, just based on the fact of Jonathan Taylor having an insane season and only rushing for 53 yards in a game. Hell of a game plan, and Patrick Mahomes kind of putting the team on his back at the end with the drive down to go. And not only that, they could have tied the game, but Patrick Mahomes ended up getting them in scoring position, hooking up with Xavier Worthy on that clutch pass down on the last drive when it came down to the wire. So the Chiefs are in this weird wounded animal stage that, hey, we understand what our record is and where we lie in the AFC, but we're not dead yet. So they're like, hey, all we got to do is we control our own destiny. All we got to do is just win out. But if you kind of look at the AFC, there's the Jags who have the win over them. There's the Colts who they just beat. Texans are kind of frisky. Those top two teams that we talked about, the Broncos and the Patriots. So the Bills are kind of lurking around in that playoff picture as well. And I think the Chiefs believe, hey, if we get in, ain't no telling what could happen. I mean, it's not like they haven't had to go on the road before. Usually in past instances, the Chiefs everything came through Arrowhead. And I believe it was the year before, I think it was last year, was like one of the first years that they didn't host an AFC championship since Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback. So, I mean, when the Chiefs get in the playoffs, it's really hard to gamble against them. And I feel like now they're in that same position, like, hey, we can turn it on at any point in time. And a lot of Chiefs fans are like, well, why the fuck didn't we turn this on when the season started? Why are we doing this now? We're playing catch-up. And I don't think any of us believe the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs. So it's going to be an interesting one on this Thursday night game because playoff implications are on the line, as I was mentioning earlier. The Chiefs and the Cowboys are in very similar situations in that outside kind of looking in the playoff bubble for their respective conferences. And I think a win on this particular Thursday coming up on Thanksgiving is going to determine whether they catapult themselves into the win column and be in that playoff hunt, or if they take a step back and they really don't control their own destiny. It's going to come down to, we need this, and this to happen, rather than just, hey, if we win and we take care of business, we control our own destiny. So, hell of a win by the Chiefs. They needed this one bad, real bad. If they lost this game, I think I saw a stat of their playoff probability. If they won, it was like, they were like 50, 60%. But if they would have lost, it would have been like 30, 40%. So, hey, man, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes just continues to show you why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I think if they get into a playoffs, if they're like the 7 seed against the Patriots, against a Broncos, a lot of people are going to gamble and bet on Patrick Mahomes.
Do you fall under a lot of people? Would you pick the Chiefs against the teams like the
I don't
Broncos?
know. It really has to depend on who they would end up playing because they could get matched up against the Colts again, and this time it would be at home. And a lot of people will be like, "Hey, they beat them the last time, but obviously it'd be in a different setting. The Colts would be on the road, different game plan. I don't know. It's hard to bet on Patrick Mahomes. I remember when they were going on the road, I was betting on the Chiefs, and I was winning a lot of money because they were dogs in a lot of those games on the road. And when it came down to it, Patrick Mahomes ended up going to a Super Bowl. Now, they didn't win, but, I mean, that playoff run that they had was immaculate, them being underdogs in basically almost every game they played in the AFC.
Understandably so. So we will be now getting to our NFL Week 12 recap, man. Toddy, let's go ahead and kick it off with Sunday or Monday Night Football. Bryce Young, undefeated on the road, goes into San Francisco, and some would say shit the bed. Then you got Brock Purdy, who some would say shit the bed. So in a very ugly football game, the San Francisco 49ers advance to 8-4, and they win 20-9 at home versus the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, man, a lot of juice going into this game, a lot of playoff implications, as most of these games are going to be moving forward. Brock Purdy did not play well to his standard, to 49er standards. I think most fans can agree on that. The 49ers absolutely had to turn into Christian McCaffrey merchants early on, and it showed. The first drive, he had like 7-8 touches. Whether that was running the ball, catching the ball, he was touching the ball in every which way. I thought George Kittle was effective in the run and pass game. Jawan Jennings had the touchdown catch. The defense, gotta give credit to Robert Saleh. He has been our blessing that we've needed ever since that he left. We had D'Amico Ryans, obviously, who was a great defensive play caller, who is now the head coach of the Houston Texans. And then we have Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks wasn't bad, but I just think situationally, he wasn't what we needed him to be. And obviously, Jesus, Brandon Staley was a shit show. And I just think, or it wasn't Brandon Staley. He was the defensive, pass game coordinator. It was Nick Sorensen. When he was our D coordinator, it was just, we were all over the place. Jair Brown had the 2 interceptions. The interception on the goal line was probably the hugest one because it took points off of the board. I was kind of surprised that Bryce Young didn't just run on that particular play.
Wide open touchdown.
Yeah, he had a touchdown that he could have just ran in. J.C. Horn, a lot of people don't know that J.C. Horn had 2 interceptions, but he got hurt in this game. And I don't know if J.C. Horn doesn't get hurt. I don't know if the outcome is the same, but I do believe that he played a huge impact in that defense. And J.C. Horn is a top 5 corner, in my opinion. I do believe that this Panthers defense did everything they possibly could to win this game. Bryce Young and their offense, Rico Dowdle, heard a couple rumblings like Rico Dowdle gonna go for 200 on you. Like, hey, let's chill out a little bit. I am just continuing to be amazed on how this defense continues to keep showing up despite all the injuries that we've had, losing a Nick Bosa and losing the heart and soul of the team, Fred Warner, who's now off crutches or now off a scooter, by the way. So, I mean, Michael Williams, the rookie, our number 1 pick, he's gone. So, I mean, Robert Saleh is just, hey, man, can you play? Can you play for us? Can you tackle?
Getting it done with me and you out there.
Yeah, we need somebody out there. And he's just throwing whoever in the mix and getting the job done. I think it says a lot about your team when you're able to win despite 3 interceptions. I don't care who you are. It's the NFL. If you turn the ball over 3 times, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to win that game. I'm just looking forward to the next task because there is a guy by the name of Myles Garrett. I don't know if you heard of him. He leads the league in sacks at 18, and throughout the last 4 weeks, he's second in the NFL with 12 sacks. And that's through the past 4 weeks. And then there's Brian Burns with, I think he's third. I think he's technically second, but Myles Garrett, the last 4 weeks, is second, which is insane. So I am in a crossroads because a lot of us are rooting for that guy, the quarterback, Shador Sanders. I hate that we got to fucking do it to him. But historically, the Niners aren't good playing in Cleveland. I did see a stat that the Niners are not pretty they're not prevalent when it comes to playing in Cleveland.
I mean, it is Cleveland, brother. I'm pretty sure everyone has a good record in Cleveland.
Yeah, so that's going to be a very exciting game. I'm just curious on the defensive, the Brock Purdy versus Myles Garrett. That we gotta. When the Browns playing against the Raiders, Myles Garrett was seeing all sorts of one-on-ones, and I'm like, how's Myles Garrett? How is he one-on-one? So that's just, I understand. We have Trent Williams, one of the best left tackles to ever play the game. I understand he's going to have his hands full, but my God, it's going to be very interesting to see. And I keep mentioning just down the stretch how important these games are moving forward. The Niners just got to just keep stacking wins, keep stacking wins, keep stacking wins. And I think right now we're on a 2-game win streak. They have a chance to be on a 3-game win streak by the end of this weekend is over. And it all starts with the quarterback, and he's got to play better. I mean, by God, he's making $250 million a year. I'm not condoning this game at all. I'm not. This is a blip. Hopefully, this is just a blip in the system.
I mean, every game he's played, and he's done multiple picks this season, so I don't think it's a blip. I think it's a permanent stop sign.
There we go. I don't think we'll be if he throws 3 picks against Cleveland, we're not going to win. So this can't continue.
Brother, he could throw 4 picks and you guys will win. It's Cleveland. But I mean, hey, we've seen crazier things happen. But moving forward, talking about quarterbacks throwing picks, Josh Allen, yet again, 2 picks. You look at the numbers besides the picks, 7.4 yards per throw, 24 of 34, 253 yards. This team goes as far as Josh Allen goes. And for the second game in a row, Keon Coleman, healthy scratch. So whatever he did missing that meeting is setting this team back. Yes, you can hear me say Khalil Shakir stepped up. James Cook did his thing. This team is evolving around Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, yes, he's won the MVP. Yes, he's been to an AFC championship. But he is in a tier of quarterbacks that is going to get hyped up no matter what they do. And the perfect example of that is Justin Herbert. Like, Josh Allen has gone like this all season. And when he plays bad, he plays bad. But then, hey, Kevin, 6 touchdowns in 1 game. You know, but every other game, he's got to go crazy. He's got to go off. But for this team to have the aspiration that they truly have, and that is winning a championship, I was texting to one of my friends that's a Ravens fan. I'm like, the AFC is completely wide open, and the Ravens are just shit in the bed. The Bills are just shit in the bed. And now it's a world where the Bills and Broncos, or the Patriots and the freaking Broncos are the top of the division. Last time that happened, Peyton Manning was playing football and Tom Brady. Like, the AFC is in
Are we living in an alternate universe?
Because all these guys are just crumbling. The young guys are coming and hitting the show, and now, like Toddy said, is there going to be a world where the Chiefs have to go to Foxborough? Last time they did that was in the AFC Championship when Tom Brady was playing. So it's like we're getting a lot of the time reversal, but it's going to be interesting into these last couple of weeks of football. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. So, Toddy, the Trevor Lawrence-led Jacksonville Jaguars come back and beat the Arizona Cardinals 27-24.
The Cardiac Jags. Trevor Lawrence is, like you were mentioning about Josh Allen, he is also a very inconsistent quarterback. He's super up and down. Had an insane last drive touchdown score to Parker Washington to basically put them up. And I think this game ended up going into overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it did. And then Jacoby Brissett comes down the next drive to Greg Dortch. Huge bomb to him. They end up getting a field goal range, kicking it. It going into overtime, and the Jags outlast. I think the Jags kind of just survived, and Cardinals kind of ran out of gas. Jags were up in this game. They kind of just let the Cardinals hang around and in the NFL, if you let teams hang around and keep giving them chance after chance after chance, they're eventually going to take advantage of the opportunity. And that's why the game ended up going into overtime. Jags scored first, which gave the opportunity to the Cardinals to try and score a touchdown to win the game or tie. And they were unable to score. And Jags ended up winning by default. So you can only put so much on Jacoby Brissett on what your expectation of what this Cardinals team is. And they do not have Marvin Harrison Jr., who's been out with injury for the past 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. So you can only do so much. I don't know what the direction is of this Cardinals team. You're paying your quarterback a lot of money. You have a young receiver who, when the quarterback is playing, he's not getting the ball. But when the backup's in, he's getting fed. So that's something that they got to address. The coaching situation, I'm not sure if Gannon may or may not be the guy there, and or it could just be the quarterback. So the Jags are creeping for that AFC South title.
Who would have thought?
Liam Cohen could be in the race for Coach of the Year as well too, just based on.
And they're winning games without their past 2 first-round picks and Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr.
Are not
when
playing.
They come back, you got Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers. This team's gonna be. And they got Brandon Strange that came back from the IR. Like, they're gonna be serious. So moving on to the next game, we have the Patriots beating the Bengals 26-20. I give a lot of credit to the Bengals. No Joe Burrow, no Jamar Chase, and they're not gonna bend over for nobody. And to think that they're going to get Joe Burrow back on Thursday, Jamar Chase back, what is this team going to look like? Because we understand.
They play on Thursday?
I believe so. Because, yes, they play Thursday. They play the Ravens on Thursday.
Ooh.
In Baltimore. So as of right now, they would have to win out to essentially win their division with the teams like the Steelers and the Ravens being 3 to 4 games above them.
That's probably the only way that they make the playoffs.
The way the Bengals are right now, you have to have Joe Burrow come back, and you have to have him play at a high level. You spend too much money to just say, fuck it, we'll do it next year. No. We're going to go in here and contend for a wild card because Toddy and I have been saying it all episode. The AFC is wide open. They just got to get in the dance. And they get in the dance, they're a team that's gone to the Super Bowl with the worst O-line in football. So we've seen this movie before. Can this offense play at that high level? Can Chase Brown continue to elevate his game when all of his toys are not around him? Every season, I feel like towards the end, we're talking about Joe Flacco. Whether it's in Cleveland, this year in Cincinnati, Joe Flacco was the elevator. And Shaun included, we wanted this to be Jake Browning. We wanted this to be his moment, but the lights got too bright. So to see this team, get to where they are now at 3-8, we're talking about this team like they're a contender. But the Bengals are always going to be in that kind of spotlight because of the team, but the money they spend on their players. So I think the Bengals will be able to bounce back, and it's going to be, if they can win Thursday, who knows what the fuck's going to happen. They go into Baltimore and win with Joe Burrow sitting out the last 7 games. It's up. So Toddy, your boys never make it easy. Never. They can't ever just put a team away. They always got to come back in dramatic fashion. We got to get a Caleb Williams dump after every win. The best. Beat the Steelers 28-31.
The Bears are another team on defense. They're missing a lot of guys. Jalen Johnson being one of those, one of the top corners, one of the top highest paid corners in the league. A couple of linebackers out for them, so they're kind of just a revolving door on the defensive end of the ball when it comes to health. And Aaron Rodgers did not play in this game, so Mason Rudolph was named the starter and looked pretty comfortable against the Bears defense, I will say. Caleb Williams, hey man, you can just see when you have a coach who believes in you, the confidence that it instills in you, and what it does to a young quarterback. I've just been a Caleb believer since his college days, obviously, for people who do watch this podcast. And I just been, I wasn't wrong. I was just early. I'm going to keep preaching that. Caleb Williams, top 15 quarterback, 8-3, leading the NFC North, as I predicted in the summer. I just think this Bears team just keeps finding ways to win. I don't know what it is about them. They can't just put a team away, as Kevin already mentioned. Usually their games come down to one score. And these are the type of games that they would have lost with Matt Eberflus at the helm, calling the shots. And I do think the reason why they're winning a bunch of these games has a lot to do with Ben Johnson and his operation, and him being a first-year head coach, and just the turnaround that you see. We see a lot of that in the NFL when it comes to teams becoming worse to first, just in recent years. You see that with Seattle. You've seen it with the Vikings in years past, and now you're seeing it with the Chicago Bears.
Patriots, the list goes on and on.
I mean, you could half the league damn near. It's just constant turnover. So I think the Bears are one of those swing teams that people weren't really paying attention to. They're like, oh, it's the Bears. Caleb Williams played like shit last year. Blah, blah. He just everything going around him. When your organization as a whole is shit and everything, then you just Kevin will always say about certain teams that they ain't shit and they ain't never gonna be shit. And that all starts organizationally. And I think with Ben Johnson at the helm, he's calling plays, instilling the confidence in Caleb Williams. Sky's the limit for this kid. Him being a year 2 quarterback and already being in the playoff contention.
So, Toddy, every time you say that, sometimes people reach out to me. So the question that I have is, where does he fall on 15? Because you always say top 15 and you always kind of leave that window out there. Where does he fall on that list?
Probably like 12, 13-ish in that range. I think.
Towards the tail end. Okay. I didn't know if you were going to say, top
I mean,
10.
if he goes on a playoff run, who knows what happened? We could be talking about top 10.
I'm just going to say, ladies and gentlemen, when C.J. Stroud went to the playoffs, Toddy said he was top 8. So, Toddy is
things happen. Guys get hurt. You have an off year.
I'm just saying, last time you were this high on a quarterback, we're talking about what he used to do. But moving forward, the Ravens beat the Jets. It's I don't know what to say. It's like Kevin tells the future. Because Lamar Jackson is shit. 7 points in a fantasy game, brother, against the Jets. This was a game where they were losing.
They were losing
to Tyrod Taylor. Mechie. Just the band of bandits, the band of the throwaways. That's what New York is becoming. The land of toys that they just don't want anymore. And they find a way to win games. They're getting healthy. Kyle Hamilton did go down, so depending on what that injury looks like, could it really affect Thursday. But this team's going to have to figure it out, man. They're getting healthy. I really don't think Lamar Jackson's 100% healthy. And a game like the Jets could have been a game where he just said, I'm not going to give it a go. And they still would have had a chance with Huntley. So it's the Ravens are up in the air right now, man. And like I said, we'll keep saying this till we're blue in the face, but this AFC's up for grabs, and the teams that we think are going to do it might not do it. So moving forward, Toddy, the Seahawks beat the Tennessee Titans 30-24.
It was belt to ass. Jackson Smith-Njigba is a top 5 wide receiver. I don't know what you want me to say.
There's no debate.
There's really no debate about it. He is in 12 games, 13 games. He has the highest yards in a season by a Seahawks receiver. You know who the person before that held that record? Oh, it was DK Metcalf. Where did DK Metcalf play? Oh, in Seattle last year. And what did they do in the offseason? They're like, we're all good. We appreciate you. Thank you for your service. I was one of those guys. I keep saying it time and time again. I did not see this. I don't know if anyone saw this from Jackson Smith-Njigba. I get it. I was put on notice by him in the Rose Bowl 3-4 years ago. When C.J. Stroud was a quarterback, won some money on him that day. So I loved him like a brother that day. So I mean, him coming to the league and then kind of just being overshadowed by DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Kyle, he's in our group chat and in our fantasy league, Seahawks fan, was always telling me about, hey, he had DK Metcalf and he had Tyler Lockett he would still have like 700 yards as a rookie. It was like, imagine what he's going to be getting all those targets now. And I mean, hey,
He wasn't lying to you.
People that drafted Jackson Smith and Jigba in their league are happy campers. So I was unaware of his game. I will continue to keep saying that and say I apologize for not being familiar. A guy who likes to call himself as a ball knower was just completely hit out of left field with this Jackson Smith and Jigba news. And he is on pace for 2,000 yards. Now, I do not know if he's going to get 2,000 yards, but he might get
He has a good chance.
He might get 1,800 yards. And he'll probably be the lead. He'll probably be the leader in receiving yards this year. I mean, as far as the Titans go, they need a lot. Cam needs help. He needs everything, coaching, players. Jeffrey Simmons is still a monster, but I mean, shit, he's in Tennessee. So what do you want him to do?
There's only so much you can do.
You got to just tear it all down and just
start over from them, build it from the scratch.
That's really all.
Gray Wolf let us know that JSN is number 1 in receiving yards and tied 4th in touchdowns in the league. And like we said, top 5 receiver, and he's not 4 and he's not 5. So those conversations this summer are going to get really brutal, especially for an Eagles fan. But, you got to give credit where credit is due. He also said Ravens are leading the AFC North and back in the playoffs. And like I said, this division is usually known for being one of the best in football. Now it's one of the worst in football. To say that you are winning a division at 6-5, a game over 500. Is it
possible that a team with a losing record is going to win a division?
If it is a division, it's this division. So we can see it. That they go 9 or 8-9 and they win the division. Hey, tip your cap to them, and they did their thing. Moving on. Sorry, Wesley. The Green Bay Packers beat the Vikings 23-6. Toddy, it's time to have a conversation.
Oh, I mean,
is JJ McCarthy shit?
I don't think it's a question.
And for them to see, we just saw the numbers for JSN. And Toddy, can you tell us who's throwing the ball to JSN?
Sam Darnold. And
where did he play last year?
He was in Minnesota, wasn't he? Didn't they go 13-3 last year? 14-3.
We say it all the time. Life comes back fast. And I get it. It's a business. You don't want to pay that guy. And Toddy and I talked about it right after that wild card game. Sam Darnold threw away $40 million a year. Just threw it away. Pick after pick after pick. Just threw it away. You work so hard. You go toe-to-toe with the Lions. You split with the Lions. This is your time. You're going to come in here. We got the skull. They were ready to go, and Sam Darnold let them down. And unfortunately, it is Sam Darnold, so we're due for a stinker. We saw it against the Rams. And even in these stinkers, they're still in the game. So it just goes to show the talent around him. But guys like Jordan Addison are playing at career low numbers. Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, This defense can win now, and having an offense led by JJ McCarthy, it's killing them, and it's crazy to think because you can't say he's bad, but then you look at it. Sam Howell looked damn good. Sam Darnold looked damn good. Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins, everyone who plays for Kevin O'Connell looks damn good. Why don't JJ look damn good? And I was one of the biggest guys saying out of the draft, I know you need a quarterback, but you keep Sam Darnold, you wait till next year. Because what quarterback gets drafted in the top 10 and threw 10 passes in the national championship game? And then signs the fucking camera like he just won MVP, threw for 450. I'm sorry, Vikings fans. It's going to be a long time. And you're not going to get a quarterback next year because you already invested a first-round pick, so you got 3 more seasons. He's already been hurt. He missed the whole rookie year and then missed a lot of games this year. Carson Wentz is done for the year. There's nowhere to go. You got to let this guy go. And the one thing I'm going to say before I pass it on to you, Justin Jefferson, I hope A.J. Brown takes some notes out of your book. You're not on Twitter. You're supporting your guys. A true locker room guy. A true wide receiver. Not a diva. Going in there with his head. He's putting his chin strap on every week and saying, God damn it, we're going to be all right. I wonder how that feels. I wonder what that'd be like. Toddy, next game. Staying in the division. The Lions squeak by the Giants. And Jameis Winston, for the audio-only listeners, I'm eating W's in the chat. They beat them 34-27 in overtime.
Yeah,
and he caught a pass.
He caught a touchdown pass. Jameis was hooping. And he's throwing to Wandale and me and you. He's always a good watch. He's usually pretty entertaining when it comes down to it. The Lions defense is not good. I do understand in the overtime they had the game-winning side by Aiden Hutchinson. I think Aiden Hutchinson's really good. I just don't think that their defense is all that. Jahmyr Gibbs, he almost had 300 yards by himself. He basically won them the game.
55 fantasy points for Kevin.
55 fantasy points. Try to trade for him. Kevin said no.
Let's not do that on the podcast, brother.
It's almost like the Lions have really good personnel, but I just don't think they're there on the play calling standpoint because obviously they lost both of their coordinators to head coaching positions. So I think they're kind of in that weird realm of we're still really good. Like we can just beat you and go player for player and beat you that way. I just don't know if their defense is in the proper schemes. Guys are in the right spot. Same thing on offense. Like Jared Goff has been looking a little out of sorts these past two games. So I think their players are going to try and will them to the playoffs just because they're just so talented on the offensive end of the ball. But when it comes down to it, I think when in the playoffs, everybody's pretty much good. All the good teams are usually in the playoffs for the most part. And when you go player for player in the playoffs and their players are just as good as yours and your coaching isn't up to par, it will show and you will get exploited. And I think that's what the Giants almost did, kind of having the Lions on the ropes at home, too. And they were 13.5-point dogs. So the Lions should be taking Jahmyr Gibbs at all costs. He should be getting – I can only imagine what his contract is going to look like. I think it's the year after next that he will be signing a very, very lucrative contract. And I think Bijan will be in that realm, too. So thank you, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Next game. The Cleveland Browns go to Vegas and win 24-10. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Shedeur Sanders time. Since 1995, the Cleveland Browns had 18 different quarterbacks debut in a game. All 17 of those 18 ended up in the L. Who's the one, you may ask? Shedeur Sanders.
I'm who they've been looking for.
Toddy said it best. I'm who they've been looking for. 1 week of preparation, 1 week of getting reps with the starters. And he's had the 4 most explosive offensive plays in one game. Like Gray Wolf says, God damn. This offense looks explosive. We're seeing downfield passes, and you're seeing Myles Garrett go, oh my God. Not a lot of quarterbacks can make that pass.
He was so happy.
His average pass is 10.5 yards compared to Dylan Gabriel's 5.5 yards. He's getting the ball down the field. And we always talked about how this Cleveland defense is dominant. You got to do the defensive player of the year on that side of the ball, playing his ass off, getting 5 sacks in a game and losing. They finally have a guy that will push the ball down the field. And what does Shedeur pushing down the ball down the field mean long term? It means guys like Dylan Sampson and Quinshawn Junkins are going to get a box that's not full. They're going to have 2 safeties in the back because Shedeur Sanders is going to take the top off this defense. Jerry Jeudy looked like the Jerry Jeudy of last year. Jerry Jeudy made a name for himself last year. Was a really good receiver last year. Didn't have the quarterback. Dylan Gabriel comes in, gives him the ball a lot one game, and then kind of goes away from him. But my gosh, Jerry Jeudy, he felt so good. He was just lollygagging, running, and they fumbled. That could have been another touchdown that Shedeur could have had. And I'm not going to come on here and say, let's give him all the credit because he did throw a horrible pass. Horrible pass. But he's a rookie. He saw a loaded box, and he said, God damn it, I got to get rid of it. So we have one more segment on we have one more segment on episode 170 of Stats Over Politics. And Toddy, this is going to get juicy because we think this guy is one of the best. So now we are going to put his name with the best. This or that, Jonathan Taylor edition.
Here we go.
First name up, Jahmyr Gibbs.
I knew this was going to happen. I'm going to say Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jonathan Taylor, I love you. You're balling. Offensive Player of the Year. Toddy said it. Jahmyr Gibbs wins games by himself. Next name, Rico Dowdle.
Jonathan Taylor.
I'm going Jonathan Taylor as well. Next name, James Cook.
Jonathan Taylor. Monster.
It's not crazy to say James Cook, but I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor because what we've seen Jonathan Taylor do. Next name, Christian McCaffrey. Pulling out heartstrings.
I gotta be politically correct here. I have to say Christian McCaffrey. Just no principle, pure principle.
Politics.
If you look at just the touches that he has compared to everybody else in the league, it's virtually insane.
Yeah, because he is the San Francisco 49ers. Jonathan Taylor has a team. You got to give it to Jonathan Taylor, man. The way he's making an impact, I get it. Christian McCaffrey is impacting not only the run game, but he's also a top receiver in the NFL. But Jonathan Taylor, not only does he run it, but the same impact that CMC gives in the passing through the air, he's only doing it through the run. So I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor. Next name, Josh Jacobs. I'm going Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Next name, Bijan Robinson.
This is a tough one.
I don't think so. It's Jonathan Robinson. It's Jonathan Taylor.
You think Jonathan Taylor? Wow.
You take Bijan?
I like Bijan. I think he's one of those guys that he's very similar to Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's a little bit shiftier than a Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a more like faster, like just pure speed type of player. I think Bijan is a little bit more cut in and out. Jonathan Taylor, I think that three, Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, I think that's, and I'll throw in my guy.
Of course you will.
Christian McCaffrey, as far as like the best running backs in the league. I think those four are like the guys. You can throw Saquon in there just based on
I was like, damn, all right. I mean, hey, recency bias.
I'll throw him in there based on what he did last year, but he did shit this year. Rico Dowdle's playing better than him.
Next name, Saquon Barkley.
I'm going to say Jonathan Taylor, based off the years having. It hurts, Kevin. I know. I understand. It hurts.
But Toddy did it. He said, fuck the stats. I'm politicking.
You got to stand firm on your principles.
Oh, I got to go Jonathan Taylor. The way he's impacting this game, and Saquon, like Toddy said, we're averaging less than 3 yards per run. Stats over politics. I got to come on here and be honest. I'm the most unbiased analyst in the world, and I stand on that. I don't let my favorite team impact my decisions. Toddy. Last name, Derrick Henry.
I will go with Jonathan Taylor. I think Derrick Henry is just creeping. I'm not saying he's going downhill. I'm saying he's 30 years old. Kevin has been one of those guys.
Whoa. Don't throw me in here because you think he's going downhill.
I'm just saying, once they hit that 3-0 mark, how old are you? Your birthday, 30 years old. All right, pack your bags. Now, I'm not saying that Jonathan or Derrick Henry is a bad back. I think he's one of the best backs to ever play the game. I think he's one of those backs that has at least 10,000 yards, if I'm not mistaken. But in this instance, I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor. I just think he's just had a better year. I do think Derrick Henry's success is based off of Lamar Jackson's health. If Lamar Jackson is healthy, they
go hand in hand.
200-yard game, Derrick Henry, I think, earlier this year. I think when they were playing against the Bills, if I'm not mistaken. He had like a 200-yard game, 2 touchdowns. He was a monster. So, I mean, once it's Cooper Rush in there, they load the box up. So I'm gonna go with Jonathan Taylor.
All right, well, that will do it for this or that Jonathan Taylor edition, and that will close out episode 170 of Stats Over Politics. This is Kevin Dent and Jaevon Toddy. I speak for all four of us, or five of us, including Alex Dent and Kaz. Please continue to show love on all the social medias and subscribing to the podcast. If you subscribe to the podcast, you'll get alerts knowing that, hey, today's not Monday, it's a Tuesday, and we still went live. We're still going to come out here and give you guys what you want. And it's going to be a special NBA pod because either Toddy is coming out here screaming from the clouds and Kevin's crying, or it's going to be the other way around because the Bears play the Eagles.
Oh, Kevin.
What's up?
Oh, sorry. Before we go, I do want to give a shout out to my little brother Frank. Had his first pro boxing match this past Friday evening. First round knockout in 26 seconds. I don't really know what you guys want me to say about that. That was pretty quick. This guy, I think, is going to be fighting on TV pretty soon. Things are starting to. Life is coming at him fast in a good way.
How old is he?
Say that one more time, Kev.
How old is he?
20. So I mean, it's we're
next 10
he's
games.
Getting to the stage where it's like, all right, we got to start going other places to go and fight. And I think once he hits that, it's got to live for this kid. He's been training since he was like 14 years old, and a lot it's not something that's been it's happened overnight for him. It's been something that's just been in the oven, just been baking over time, going to tournaments here, going to tournaments there, then all of it stacking your amateur record, and then eventually going pro. Number one at his division. A lot of people are unaware that he is the best in his weight class at that division. And for him to he is not surprised, but I think a lot of people are shocked on how fast it ended. But if you see how hard this kid works and the work that he puts in and day out, it's regular for him. So I know he expects this of him. A lot of us expect him to be one of the best boxers to come out of SAC. And I think the trajectory that he's on is pretty immense, and we're all excited and proud of him moving forward.
Yeah, man. Keep putting on for the city. He even got Toddy out in the streets with his braids on. And
that's the bedtime.
I said, oh, man, Toddy said, okay, we can't record. I'm going out. Big stepper. A lot of y'all don't understand. This is Mr. Velo. Now it's an unction when you wear Velo. But hey, like Toddy's ad name, Bonnie Velo, baby. Taking it to the grave. That is going to do it for episode 170 of Stats Over Politics. We will see you guys Friday. NBA podcast. So Alex Dick will be back. And then, like I said, the key out, either the Bears will, shock the world, or the Eagles put belt to ass. If you want to tune in and see a little bit of an early football episode, we're going to have to talk about it. It's that day, a couple hours later. So we will see you guys at 7 p.m. of episode 171 of Stats Over Politics. But that will do it for episode 170 of Stats Over Politics. And on 3, everybody say, Toddy, charge your damn iPad. We will see you guys next week.